Welcome back, students. Let's complete this LBO Valuation exit model with equity value at the purchase year using the capital cash flow from Ccf model with interest tax shield. The reason why we are using this Ccf model is that we've calculated the changes of this net debt, right? If we change the net debt, we cannot use just one discount rate, for example, weighted average cost of capital using FCF model, right? But we need to calculate FCF. We need to calculate each year weighted average cost of capital. But if we use this CCF model, we use the cost of equity unlevered assuming like 100% equity the finance, right? Using the beta of unlevered from the levered beta of the comparables, and then we'll peel out this the levered beta to the unlevered beta so that we can use this cost of equity, the unlevered using the unlevered beta. If we use the cost of equity unlevered beta viewed as 100% equity financing, we don't care about the changes of the debt, the amount, because this equity is the valuation of this model is calculating just like 100% equity financing. Instead, we add this interest tax shield, right? Interest tax shield will calculate also the terminal value of interest tax shield assuming debt as well, and then we sum up all these cash flows, right? And then we get the enterprise value, and then minus the debt newly issued, and then we get this sponsored equity value, which is the same as this 1,200, the $1 million, right? So the cost of equity unleveled here we correlate here, but not yet. We haven't finished it because we will justify this 15% of the cost of equity unlevered in order to match this sponsor equity of $1.2 billion. So free cash flows. Now, how to calculate free cash flows? Free cash flows is now E55, which is EBIT, right? EBIT. Now, this EBIT is the base, right? Minus the 35%, right? The EBIT is the base of all the cash flows of the of the interest and the equity as well, right? Again, we are assuming the 100% equity finance. That's why interest expense also part of the equity, right? Equity, the benefit, investors benefit. So so we need to get this. Just give me a second. Not here, but the free cash flow of the future, right? The relevant again, EBIT times 1 minus tax rate, and then next we need to add back the depreciation, right? The minus capex, then minus net changes, increase in working capital. So we have the first year the free cash flows like this, right? Oh, yeah, I made a mistake here. Okay, and then let's just drag it to the right. Now we have all the cash flows, free cash flows. Then the terminal value of free cash flow with a constant growth rate 3%. Let's assume that 3% is the constant growth rate after year 5, right? Because we assume that the company will be forever, right? Let's say it's the 3%. And then we can calculate this times increased by the 3% constant growth, and divided by the discount rate minus 30%, right? Again, one of the point is here, the cost of equity discount rate must be greater than the 3%, the constant growth rate of the permanent value, because this value must be positive, right? And then also this, you have to remember this free cash flows last year also must be positive, so that we can get the positive value of the terminal value as well, right? The interest tax shield is interest expense now times tax amount. By this amount we can reduce the tax. That's why this is benefit, right? And then we increase, we spread out. And then this interest expense is also part of interest tax shield, is also part of the benefit to the equity holders, right? Again, what is the interest tax shield? We get the benefit by reducing tax payment by the amount of this interest tax shield, right? And then this amount, let's assume that after this, the debt structure that will be maintained at the same the value, because we don't have any other like assumptions after year 5. So we are using this terminal value just divided by the cost of equity unlevered, like perpetual the value, right? Perpetuity. Now let's just sum of all these numbers, so that we got this total free cash flows of the firm, right? Of the firm, using this is the Ccf model. And then enterprise value, we use NPV, open the parentheses, the rate, and then here let's just drag all this number, right? So that we got the future cash flows, free cash flows of the company. This enterprise value must be same as like the enterprise value. Just give me a second if we got the right number or not. Okay, so must be same as, right? Must be same as this total the sources, or very close, right? If we justify this cost of equity, then the debt newly issued, then where we get this number, right? There you go. And then the sponsor equity minus this, then 807. And then if we divide this by this is the million, right? By 10, and then $80 is the stock price per share. The sponsor equity value using this the Ccf model, the free cash the DCF model is 807 million, but what we assumed is 1200. It doesn't match, right? Because we need to justify this 15% of the equity, the capital interest rate, right? So we have all the free cash flows projected. We cannot change. Maybe we can change this like 4% or 3%, whatever. But let's assume that we can the variables we can change is cost of equity only, right? So how do we match this to 1200 of the sponsor equity value? We want to use GoldSeek. Here, here the data, what if analysis, GoldSeek, the set the cell. I want to set the cell, this sponsor equity value, to 1200, $1.2 billion we set up, right? By changing the cell of this input variable, right? Then put this. Okay, so 13.23%, so that we can match here discount rate, and then we can match the sponsor equity value by the Ccf model with a multiple model here, 1200. And then we complete this all the LBO valuation and the exit model through the multiple method and the Ccf model as well. Okay, so see you guys. Bye bye.